प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाओ।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has asked the police force to serve the people and play an active role in containing militancy, terrorism and corruption. The Premier made the plea while inaugurating the Police Week 2024 at Rajarbagh police lines in the capital this morning. She asked the police force to serve the countrymen. The main motto of the police is to prevent bad people and to protect good ones. A government always wants the police to earn confidence and trust of the people through their works, she said. The Premier reiterated her commitment to continue drive against the militancy, terrorism, drug abuse and corruption. Police force will have to play active role in pursuing the government policy, she said.
আমরা চাই আমাদের পুলিশ বাহিনী আরো দক্ষ, পেশাদার, যুগোপযোগী ও আন্তর্জাতিক মানের একটা স্মার্ট সংগঠন হিসেবে গড়ে উঠবে। সেদিকে লক্ষ্য রেখেই আমরা বিভিন্ন পদক্ষেপ নিচ্ছি এবং আমাদের এবারে যে নির্বাচনী ইস্তার সেখানে আমরা ঘোষণা দিয়েছি যে স্মার্ট বাংলাদেশ আমরা গড়ে তুলব। সেই সাথে সাথে আমাদের পুলিশ বাহিনীও স্মার্ট পুলিশ বাহিনী হিসেবে গড়ে উঠবে। সেই 2013 সাল, 14 সাল, 15 সাল অথবা এই 23 সালের 28 অক্টোবর কিভাবে অগ্নিসন্ত্রাস, জাতীয় সম্পদগুলি নষ্ট করা, বাস, ট্রেন, অফিস, সরকারি অফিস, ভূমি অফিস সহ বিভিন্ন জায়গায় অগ্নিসংযোগ করা, চলন্ত বাস সেখানে মানুষ বসে আছে সেই সহ মানুষকে হত্যা করা, এই ধরনের ঘটনা ঘটিয়েছে। শুধু তাই না, যখন পুলিশ বাধা দিতে গেছে পুলিশকে নির্মমভাবে হত্যা করেছে। এটা অত্যন্ত দুর্ভাগ্যের। কিন্তু তারপরে আমি বলবো যে জনগণের জানমাল রক্ষায়, দেশের শান্তি রক্ষায় পুলিশ তার জীবন দিয়ে প্রচেষ্টা চালিয়েছে এবং এই ধ্বংসাত্মক কাজ রুখে দিয়েছে। দেশের মানুষ যখনই কোনো বিপদে পড়ে সকলের আগে আশ্রয় খোঁজে পুলিশের কাছে। কাজে পুলিশ জনগণের বন্ধু। সে কারণে আমি মনে করি আমাদের পুলিশ বাহিনী তাদের পেশাদারিত্ব, সততা, নিষ্ঠা, দক্ষতা ও নিরপেক্ষতা, ত্যাগ, বীরত্ব, দেশপ্রেমে, মানবীয় মূল্যবোধ নিয়েই জনগণের সেবা করবে। দুষ্টের দমন, শিষ্টের পালন, এটা হচ্ছে পুলিশের মূল মন্ত্র। কাজে পুলিশ বাহিনী মানুষের আস্থা, বিশ্বাস অর্জন করবে, এটাই সবসময় আমাদের কাম্য। জঙ্গিবাদ, সন্ত্রাস, মাদক, দুর্নীতি এর বিরুদ্ধে আমাদের অভিযান অব্যাহত থাকবে। আর এই ক্ষেত্রে পুলিশ বাহিনীকে সক্রিয় ভূমিকা পালন করতে হবে। দেশকে উন্নত সমৃদ্ধ করতে হলে দেশের শান্তি, স্থিতিশীলতা একান্তভাবে অপরিহার্য।
Prior to opening the Police Week, the Prime Minister reviewed the parade of the Bangladesh police riding on an open jeep and took the salute. Different police contingents staged a spectacular parade to mark the Police Week. Later, the Premier awarded 35 policemen Bangladesh Police Medal and 60 others President Police Medal in recognition of their courageous work. In addition, 95 policemen got BPM Service Medal, while 210 PPM Service Medal as well. Besides, the Prime Minister visited the stall of Bangladesh Police Women's Welfare Association and attended other formalities. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said to mitigate the energy scarcity in the country, the government has opted to go for offshore gas extraction and the government needs investment for that purpose. The Prime Minister said this while Chief Executive Officer, CEO of International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC, Engineer Hani Salem called on her at her সংসদ Bhavan office this evening. While briefing speechwriter to the Prime Minister, M. Nazrul Islam said during the call-on, Sheikh Hasina said that the government has provided electricity in all areas of the country. She mentioned that during her first tenure in government in 1996, she opened the power sector for the private investment. Investment-enabling environment is prevailing in the country as the present government has created that, she said. She put emphasis on creating job opportunities, and for that the country needs investment. ITFC CEO Hani Salem said that they will provide all-out support to materialize the smart Bangladesh as envisioned by Sheikh Hasina through investing in various sectors including infrastructure, ICT, debt management, energy sector and climate change issue. Advisor to the Prime Minister Salman Fazlur Rahman, Principal Secretary M. Tufazil Hussain Mia and Economic Relations Division Secretary Muhammad Shahriar Qadir Siddiqui were present. Later, Indian Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary called on the Prime Minister. During the call-on, the Prime Minister told him that the Bangladesh has established Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Aviation and Aerospace University where new manpower are being created. Mentioning that poverty is the main enemy in this region, Sheikh Hasina said that maximum resources are being spent to alleviate poverty. Briefing the newsmen, Prime Minister's speechwriter Nazrul Islam said the Indian Air Chief has assured the Premier to extend all types of cooperation to build smart armed forces in the smart Bangladesh. Talking about the forces goal 2030 of Bangladesh, Vivek Ram said that they have taken initiative to conduct joint exercise alongside extending cooperation on training to Bangladesh Air Force personnel. He also said that they are ready to extend all types of cooperation for the betterment of Bangladesh Air Force. President Mohammad Shahabuddin called upon businessmen and all concerned to increase export items and expand its market in the world. The president made the call while addressing the inaugural function of National Textile Day at Bangabandhu International Conference Center this morning. He said, now Bangladesh is the second largest exporter of ready-made garments in the world. Mentioning that foreign trade is much more challenging and competitive, President Mohammad Shahabuddin stressed on taking coordinated initiatives to face these challenges. The president emphasized on formulating and implementing action plans for the expansion of the textile sector. President Shahabuddin urged businessmen, industrialists and entrepreneurs to be vigilant so that no vicious circle or self-interested clique can destroy the atmosphere of production-oriented factories.
কয়েকটি পণ্যের উপর নির্ভর না করে রপ্তানির ঝুড়িতে পণ্যের সংখ্যা বাড়াতে হবে। পাশাপাশি রপ্তানি গন্তব্যও বাড়াতে হবে। গুটি কয়েক দেশের উপর নির্ভর না করে বিশ্বের সম্ভাব্য সকল স্থানে আমাদের রপ্তানি পণ্যের বাজারকে ছড়িয়ে দিতে হবে। আন্তর্জাতিক বাজার সম্প্রসারণের জন্য আধুনিক প্রযুক্তি সম্পন্ন কারিগরি শিক্ষা সম্প্রসারণ ও দক্ষ মানব সম্পদ সৃষ্টির লক্ষ্যে সরকারের পাশাপাশি ব্যবসায়ী, শিল্পপতি ও বিনিয়োগকারীদেরকে এগিয়ে আসতে হবে। শ্রমিকরাই উৎপাদনমুখী শিল্পের চালিকা শক্তি। কারখানা ও শ্রমিক একে অপরের পরিপূরক। শ্রমিক ভালো থাকলে কারখানা ভালো থাকবে। কোনো দুষ্টচক্র বা স্বার্থান্বেষী মহল যাতে উৎপাদনমুখী কারখানায় পরিবেশ নষ্ট করতে না পারে সে ব্যাপারেও আপনাদের সজাগ থাকতে হবে।
The function was also addressed by Textiles and Jute Minister Jahangir Gobind Nanuk, Secretary Mohammad Abdur Rauf, President of Bangladesh Textile Mills Association Mohammad Ali Khokun and BGMEA Vice President Mohammad Shahidul Azim. 11 companies were awarded for their outstanding contribution to the development of the country's textile sector. Currently, 16,79,000 tons of food grains is in stock in the government silos. Food Minister Shadhon Chandra Mojumdar informed this at the Jatiyo Sangshad, replying to a query during question-answer session. Sitting of the House started with Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chowdhury in the chair. Food Minister said government will import 6,15,000 metric tons of wheat and 1,50,000 metric tons of rice in the current fiscal. Replying to a query, State Minister for Expatriate Welfare and Overseas Employment Shafiqur Rahman Chowdhury said government has a plan to send 60 lakh workers overseas in the next 5 years. He said in 2023, 13,05,453 workers have gone to different countries. The State Minister said Due to the necessary steps of the government, process is on to send workers in different countries. State Minister for Disaster Management and Relief Mohammad Muhibur Rahman said 20 new shelter centers will be built in Shamnagar Upazila under Satkhira. Besides speaking on point of order, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Anisul Islam Mahmood, mentioned the role of syndicate in increasing prices of the essentials. Speaking on point of order, Chief Whip of the Opposition, Mujibul Haq Chunnu, urged the government not to increase price of the electricity and gas in the current circumstances. Later, general discussion on Thanksgiving motion on President's speech at the Jatiya Sanshad were held. State Minister for Water Resources, Jahid Farooq, Member of Parliament, Mohammad Abu Jahid, AFM Bahauddin, Nuruzzaman Ahmed, Ashiqullah Rafiq and Rashid Khan Menon, among others, took part in the discussion. After Maghrib prayer, Deputy Speaker Shamsul Haq Tuku conducted the Sanshad session. The sitting of the House will resume in the afternoon tomorrow. Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir said the present government wants friendships with foreign countries, but if anyone tried to be master, will not be acceptable to Bangladesh. He said this at a press briefing at Awami League President's office at Dhanmondi in the capital today.
যা হয়নি যা সেটা আবারও হবে আমেরিকা ফিরে গিয়ে কি বলবে এ নিয়ে স্পেকুলেশনের কোনো প্রয়োজন কি আমাদের আছে আমরা বিদেশি বন্ধুর সাথে বন্ধুত্ব চাই আর বন্ধুর পরিবর্তে যারা প্রভুর ভূমিকায় আসতে চান সেই প্রভুর দাসত্ব আমরা মানি না
The minister said the BNP has now taken the policy of silence as it didn't get expected response from the USA like sanctions and visa policy.
আশাবাদী হওয়ার কোনো কিছু নেই সরকারের পতন সরকারের ব্যর্থতা সরকারের বিরুদ্ধে কোনো ব্যবস্থা এসব বিষয় কিছু তারা খুঁজে পায়নি মার্কিন প্রতিনিধি দলের বক্তব্য থেকে সে কারণে চুপ করে থাকার কৌশলটাই বেছে নিয়েছে
The government has revised the retail price of electricity. The price of electricity per unit has been adjusted from 34 paisa to maximum 70 paisa. The new price will be effective from the first week of March. State Minister for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Nasrul Hamid said this at a press briefing at the Secretariat today. The State Minister said the price of electricity has been adjusted to reduce subsidy on electricity. The State Minister said gas prices will also be adjusted like electricity. He said for the time being there will be no increase in gas prices for residential and industrial level for retail customers. However, the price of gas used for power generation will be increased.
যে কোনো দেশে যান জ্বালানির উপর প্রাইসিং এর উপর বিদ্যুতের প্রাইস ওঠানামা করে সুতরাং ওইটার সাথে আমাদের সমন্বয় করতে হবে এছাড়া উপায় নেই আমাদের টার্গেটেড হলো আগামী 3 বছর আমরা এটাকে সমন্বয় করব এবং যাতে কিনা একটা সহনীয় পর্যায় থেকে সমন্বয়টা হয় সেটার একটা ব্যবস্থা আমরা নিয়েছি আমরা যে যাচ্ছি অল্প অল্প করে যে 34 পয়সা এরপরে উপরের লেভেলে হয়তো 70 পয়সা এরকম ভাবে আমরা প্রাইসিংটাকে আমরা রিঅ্যাডজাস্টমেন্ট করতেছি এবং এটা আমরা চাচ্ছি মার্চের প্রথম সপ্তাহ থেকে এটা শুরু হবে এবং পরবর্তী সময়ে হয়তো 2-3 বার আমরা প্রাইসে এই অ্যাডজাস্টমেন্টটা খুব অল্প ধীরে ধীরে যাব
Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood said the Foreign Ministry's outreach program helps foreign diplomats know about Bangladesh and its progress well. He said this while exchanging views with the mass media at Chattogram rail station today prior to leaving for Cox's Bazar as part of outreach program of 34 diplomats, including 24 mission heads from different countries and international organizations. The Foreign Minister said during the tour, foreign diplomats will have ground experience about Bangladesh's development spree and they will stretch out the information across the globe.
বাইরে এসেছে চট্টগ্রামে আজকে কয়েক ঘন্টা তারা কাটালো এবং কর্ণফুলী টানেল দক্ষিণ এশিয়ায় প্রথম নদীর তলদেশ দিয়ে রোড টানেল সেটি তারা দেখলো, সেটি পার হলো, আবার ফিরে আসলো। সুতরাং এই যে অসাধারণ উন্নয়ন, যেগুলো মানুষ আজ থেকে 15-20 বছর আগে কল্পনাও করেনি, সেগুলো আজকে বাস্তব এবং সেই বাস্তবতা তারা আজকে নিজের চোখে দেখছে। এতে করে আমাদের জাতির সামর্থ্য এবং মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর নেতৃত্বে উন্নয়নের কর্মচক্র এবং দেশকে তারা ভালোভাবে জানতে পারছে এবং দেশকে জানার মাধ্যমে তারা তাদের দেশে সেই বার্তা পৌঁছে দেবেন। বাংলাদেশের এই খবরগুলো সারা বিশ্বময় ছড়িয়ে পড়বে।
Earlier in the morning, the foreign diplomats visited Chattogram Naval Academy and Kornfuli Tunnel. The 34 diplomats taking part in the outreach program are from the European Union, Russia, China, Korea, Italy, Denmark, Kosovo, Pakistan, Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Vatican, Bhutan, Spain, Argentina, Libya, Singapore, Australia, Egypt, France, FAO, IUT and AKDN. Meanwhile, Whip Saimum Sarwar Kamal welcomed the foreign minister and diplomats at the local iconic railway station on their arrival in Cox's Bazar in the afternoon. District Awami League President Faridul Islam Chowdhury, General Secretary Mujibur Rahman, Municipal Mayor Mahbubur Rahman Mabu, among others, were present. Visiting Indian Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chowdhury paid a courtesy call on Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sheikh Abdul Hannan at Air Force Headquarters this morning. During the meeting, they exchanged greetings and expressed hope to continue existing bilateral relations between the Air Forces of India and Bangladesh. A smartly tuned contingent of Bangladesh Air Force presented guard of honor to the Indian Air Chief at the Air Force Headquarters. Earlier in the morning, the Indian Air Force Chief paid tribute to the members of the Bangladesh Armed Forces who made the supreme sacrifices during the Liberation War of 1971 by laying a wreath at the altar of Shikau Nirban in Dhaka cantonment. He also signed the visitors' book kept there. Later, Indian Air Chief paid courtesy call on Chief of Army Staff General S.M. Shafiuddin Ahmed and Chief of Naval Staff Admiral M. Nazmul Hassan.
এই ঘাস, এই মাটির বুকে আস্তে করে পা রেখো। এখানে আমার ভাই বরকত, সালাম, আসাদেরা শুয়ে আছে। ওরা ব্যথা পাবে, ডুকরে কেঁদে উঠবে। এই নরম মাটিতে আস্তে করে পা ফেলো। আমার ভাইয়ের রক্তে এ বাংলা এখনো ভেজা সাথে। এ মাটি রাত্রি দিন কেঁদে কেঁদে প্রার্থনা করে বিধাতার কাছে, আমার মায়ের ভাষা মুখ থেকে কেড়ে নিতে দেব না, দেব না।
Now international news. President Joe Biden said he hopes to have a ceasefire in Israel-Gaza war within next week. His comments came amid reports of some progress reached in ongoing negotiations involving Israel and Hamas representatives in Qatar. While speaking to the journalist in New York, he said, "My hope is by next Monday we will have a ceasefire." A spokesman for the U.S. State Department said earlier that progress had been made in negotiations to release the Israeli hostages in the last several days, but it remained unclear whether Hamas would accept the latest proposed deal. Last week, the U.S. was widely criticized for vetoing a UN Security Council resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Instead, it proposed its own temporary ceasefire resolution, which also warned Israel not to invade the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Turkey has joined a large number of countries that have condemned Israel's decade-long occupation of Palestinian territories at the International Court of Justice, ICJ. Turkey's Deputy Foreign Minister Ahmet Yildiz was the first representative to speak on the last day of the hearing on Monday, capping a week-long event that saw 52 countries and several international organizations testify to Israel's occupation of Palestine. He said the long-running conflict could have been settled by now, but if international and human rights laws were upheld by Israel and its Western allies, and emphasized how the United Nations Security Council has failed to protect the unalienable rights of the Palestinians. Turkey's Deputy Foreign Minister also said the deepening occupation by Israel of the Palestinian territories and the failure of its allies to commit to implementing a two-state solution were the main underlying issues. Turkey echoed many of the arguments that have been made by dozens of countries since last week. French President Emmanuel Macron has said it is key for Europe's security to defeat Russia in Ukraine amid urgent pleas for more weapons from Kiev. He was speaking in Paris, where he said that European leaders had agreed to set up a coalition to give Ukraine medium and long-range missiles and bombs. He added that there was no consensus on sending Western troops to Ukraine, but nothing should be excluded. Russian troops made recent gains in Ukraine, which faces big arms shortages. Kiev is critically dependent on modern armory supplies from its Western allies, particularly the US, to be able to continue fighting Russia, a much bigger military force with an abundance of artillery ammunition. A full-scale invasion of Ukraine launched by Russian President Vladimir Putin is now in its third year, with no signs that the biggest war in Europe since World War II could end soon. Canada on Monday unveiled draft legislation to combat online hate that would force major companies to quickly remove harmful content and boost the penalty for inciting genocide to life in prison. The Liberal government of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau introduced the bill with the stated aim of protecting children from online predators. The bill says major social media companies must quickly remove content that sexually victimizes a child, as well as intimate content communicated without consent. In both cases, the content would have to be removed within 24 hours, subject to an oversight and review process. A company found guilty of contravening the law would be fined a maximum of 6% of its gross global revenues, government officials said during a technical briefing. Content providers would have to introduce special protections for children, including parental controls, safe search settings, and content warning labels. The bill would also sharply raise the penalties for those found guilty of advocating or promoting genocide. The proposed maximum sentence would be life in prison, up from the 5 years at present. News on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain mainly dry with a temporary partly cloudy sky over the country. Night and day temperature may rise slightly over the country, said the Met Office. News on sports. Borishal will face Rangpur Riders in the second qualifier match of BPL cricket tomorrow. The second qualifier match will start at 6:30 p.m. Bangladesh time at Sher-e-Bangla National Cricket Stadium in Mirpur. Earlier, Kumila Victorians beat Rangpur Riders by 6 wickets in the first qualifier of BPL. Fortune Borishal beat Chattogram Challengers by 7 wickets in the eliminator match to reach the second qualifier. The winners of the second qualifier will face Kumila Victorians in the final on March 1st. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Police will have to play an active role against militancy, terrorism and drug abuse, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Prime Minister instructs police to meet responsibilities by keeping in mind that they are friends of people. President Mohammad Shahabuddin calls upon all concerned, including businessmen, to increase export item as well as expand global markets. Government wants friendship with foreign countries but will not allow anyone to dominate Bangladesh, says Obaidul Qadir. Ambassador's outreach program aims at highlighting development of the country globally, says Foreign Minister. Government adjusts electricity prices with effect from first week of March. Joe Biden hopes to have ceasefire in Gaza by next week amid international uproar over death of US airman who set himself on fire protesting genocide in Gaza. And Kumila Victorians reach a BPL cricket final, Rangpur Riders to face Fortune Borishal in second qualifier tomorrow. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. And